Welcome to Two Crazy Scoops Podcast, the evening after dark episodes with your hosts Ayo and Antino and A&A. This music is really slow because it's after dark, and this is our first after dark episode because it's like after 10.
That's when everything gets a little
dark.
To put it nicely. I don't even hear music, but it's okay. I guess I don't have to.
Just imagine it, Aaron. Imagine the vibing that's going on this end.
Okay. All right.
So, Aaron Owens, or Ayo, sorry. We're here with you. It's like after 10. I don't know why we're recording this late, but here we are. We're doing it. We're live. We're well. How you feeling? Oh, no. The new question is, how are you not feeling? Makes people think.
Well, I don't feel drunk at the moment, which is probably a good thing.
Oh, man.
Well, it is Wednesday. Hey, you asked. When you ask questions, you have to expect the unexpected.
Oh, my goodness. Because I was like, you always ask people, how you doing? But they just say good. So now the new thing is you have to ask them, how are you not doing? So it throws them off their game. They'll get frustrated with you. They'll probably say they're not feeling drunk, which is good.
Yeah. I mean, I answered the question, honestly.
You did. You did, Aaron. But I don't know if honesty is what we want on this podcast. So maybe I was my fault, Aaron. I was the one who asked the question. So
I know. That's what I'm saying.
It's on
you
me.
ask a question, you have to expect anything.
So, A&A, how are you feeling? We're not going to ask you how you're not feeling. Just say good.
Well, I don't know what to say now. I had my
Tell
answer
the
ready
truth.
for the.
You had your answer
I'm
ready.
I'm not feeling. I'm not well.
Not well. You see, those double negatives always throw me off. Speaking of languages. Anyways.
I am well.
That's good. That's good. You better be, because we're sitting right next to each other. So, if please don't barf on me.
I won't.
I think this is the latest we've done an episode before, Aaron.
I
There
don't
was
know.
one
I think,
time. Yeah.
it was like 6 of us on one episode, and it was pretty late.
Oh,
Yeah, that
Levi
one
had
was
to go,
intense.
and we just kept him on, and then he's like, I thought this was only going to be 15 minutes, and it turned into like 25.
Yeah, it was like 2 hours of. It was like a 2-hour episode. I think we just cut it in half, but it was long.
Yeah.
And it was late.
Yeah. So this week, Aaron, let's see. We got our advice. We start off with an advice. We start off with a quote. We start off with some story or something. And I have some new advice, Aaron, that's applicable today, as it will ever be, considering tax season is coming up. If someone writes your last name incorrectly on a W-2 or a 1099, make sure, don't just text them and laugh about it. Make sure they change it. I saw Antonio Chavez on mine, and I was like, hey, dude, it says Antonio Chavez. That's hilarious. And he's like, yeah. And like a couple months later, he's like, oh, so I'm getting calls from the IRS, and they just want to make sure. And I was like, well, they spelled my name wrong.
Oh, my God. And is that still an issue, or has that been rectified already?
I hope it's been rectified. But if I'm not here in a couple weeks, you'll know what happened. I don't think they'll let you podcast from prison. That's not one of the activities, is it?
I don't know. Let me Google it and see. I think you can, which means you're fine.
Well, in that case, you might as well go commit all kinds of felonies.
Well, I'm not saying all that. I'm just saying, if you end up in jail for tax evasion, I'm trying to see, can you podcast from prison? Well, you can listen to podcasts. Good.
Well, I could listen to you continue it on, if anything.
Yeah, you'll be in every episode in spirit.
I don't see how you could. You wouldn't have any equipment.
I
That's
don't know,
about it.
makeshift. I don't know, sell matches or something. Who knows what they do in there? I mean, people have cell
Yeah.
phones.
Yeah, I mean, somehow stuff flows in and out of there. I'm not going to even pretend like I know how, because I don't.
Are you
I
sure?
can assure you, yeah, right? I can assure you I have no experience with that, so I have no idea. But yeah, that's interesting. Well, hey, there's only one way to find out for sure, I guess, huh?
Yeah, that's really dedication right there. It's like, so we went in prison. We've been gone for a couple years, but we're back to tell you cannot podcast in prison.
From prison, hence the lack of episodes uploaded in the last 2 years.
While I am extraordinarily ripped now, I cannot podcast.
Oh, God.
And did you have advice or a quote, Anna? A&A?
Yeah. I have some advice. Don't ever, for any reason, do anything to anyone, no matter what, no matter where, or who you are, or who you're with, or where you've been, ever, for any reason whatsoever.
I'm lost. I gotta say, I'm lost.
Yeah. I am lost. But I think that was
You
the
know,
point,
sometimes I just start sentences and I don't really know where I'm going with it, but
Don't do anything to anyone ever. The
come on,
end.
guys.
That's
The Office?
great. I love it.
You
The
guys.
Office?
Oh, that's from The Office. Oh, I did see. I haven't seen a lot of episodes of The Office. I've seen a bunch, but I must have missed that one.
I don't know which one that's from.
That's just Michael and his improv ways.
Nice.
That is hilarious. Oh, I'm mad. I'm sure some of our listeners will get.
I
will
hope
pick
so,
up on it
'cause
right
that-
away.
Yeah, that flew over my head.
Your faces at that moment was.
I was like, where? I
What?
was like, was this a mistake? Was having her on the podcast a mistake? Have I unleashed
Suddenly you're
something?
regretting it.
Like, it just got really dark, and it's like, where are we going with this?
Well, if you want a serious piece of advice, kind of piggybacking off of what Anna just said. No, I'm serious. A really good piece of advice, if you want one, is don't say something about somebody that you wouldn't say to somebody.
Especially if you're me talking about Aaron.
Exactly. If you wouldn't say it to them, don't say it about them.
Yeah, that's a good
And
one.
that would fix a lot of issues that go on.
But not your taxes.
It won't fix your taxes. Yeah, I had an interesting history with taxes too, but I don't even know if I want to go into that now or not. Well, what I did learn from it though is that you have to pay them. But yeah, it's kind of a long story.
Interesting.
If you make a mistake on your taxes, it's good to figure out what mistake you made and try to fix it as quickly as possible. Because I did that before. I tried to do my own taxes and I made a mistake and missed a couple of numbers, added a couple of zeros where it should not have been zeros. And yeah, it was a headache to fix. So
Yeah.
Nice.
I've been there before.
So you have been to prison.
No, I didn't go to prison. If I didn't say anything, maybe, but no, once I found it, I fixed it. But it was a pain. It was a pain to go back and fix stuff. Sometimes I'm sitting there like, should I even have said anything? But yeah, no, I would probably be in jail if I didn't. So
It would have been a totally different life right now.
yeah.
Smuggling cheeseburgers. So let's
Exactly.
see. Speaking
Another
of,
reference.
is it?
Isn't it?
No.
What?
That's like real life. I know some people who are in prison and
Oh.
they're like, you can get anything sometimes. There's a guy who has McDonald's. You want McDonald's? You go to him and like trade him some stuff. Like
Wow.
ramen is
Really?
pretty much currency in there or something. Again, this is me speaking out of turn. I don't know too much about it, but from what I've
But the
heard.
thing is, like if I wanted McDonald's and I was in prison, I would want fresh McDonald's, like hot
Oh,
fries.
you don't
And
care if you're in
I
prison, dude.
do,
No,
I
you don't.
do,
No, you
I
don't.
do. I don't want some Big Mac that's been wrapped up in his pants for, you know, 3 days. That's
No,
disgusting.
dude. I don't care. If you go without something long enough, it becomes magical no matter what form you get it
to
in.
to you, but this is coming from the person who eats
Oh,
Taco
okay.
Bell.
Mr. High Standards over here. Won't eat a hot dog
Yes.
at IKEA.
No, no, I won't eat a hot dog from IKEA or from anywhere
Wow.
because there's
We've
so
made
much.
full circle, guys.
What is-
We're back to the hot dog at IKEA.
I'm still mad about that. And then you ate a hot dog right in front of me another time, too.
That may have been because I was hungry at the moment, but it's not my go-to.
I'm telling you, if you're desperate in prison.
But you will, yeah, but still the hot dog was fresh, if nothing else. But I don't want smuggled fries. Who knows where did they have to put it to smuggle it? That's my issue.
Well, I doubt that if it was that bad, they wouldn't be selling them. I mean, I'm just telling you, Aaron, if you go long enough without something, it becomes a magical thing once you return to it. I didn't watch
if it's
TV
fresh.
for an extremely long time, and I watched like one of the stupidest movies ever, and it was like comedy gold to me because I hadn't watched TV for such a long time. Like you become like cleansed of it, and then you can pretty much tolerate anything at that point. And reading books becomes a miracle.
Mhm.
Just an FYI. Not that I've
Okay,
gone without
well.
watching TV like for that long of time again, but
Interesting.
anyways, speaking of things I don't understand, Aaron, I know I don't want to be that podcast where we talk about what everyone else is talking about, the hot topics. I don't want to be that, Aaron, but we're going to have to be that today because I don't understand what the heck is going on with the stock market. And all I see is like they're talking about orange juice or something because it's got like squeeze and I don't know, fresh
All right,
squeeze stocks.
Okay, so I understand. Oh yeah, the short squeeze, you mean? That can get a little complicated to explain.
Are we going to
And
attempt to do that here?
I'll just give you a gist of what's happening, if that makes any sense. I'll
Sure.
keep it super simple. And I understand it a little bit, but I don't now granted, I don't go super deep into this stuff, but I can give you a gist of what's happening. Basically, long story short, GameStop, their stock, among others, has been trending downward for a while, partially due to people's buying habits. You know, people are going online to buy games. It's very competitive. A lot of other companies are selling games as well, Walmart, Amazon, whatever. So GameStop has been on a downward trend. There's this subreddit on Reddit where people talk about stock advice and trading stocks and things like that. So if you have these big hedge funds who are betting against the stock, what they are assuming is that they're basically borrowing the stock,
This is where it gets
hoping that
sticky.
hoping where the price of it goes down so they can give it back and make a profit in the process. So they're betting that it's going to go down. But all these people on Reddit got together and decided to start buying up a lot of the GameStop stock, which has started to send the shares upward over time. And then that's where all the issues came in, because now people who had bet against the stock going down are losing money because it's going up. And even Robinhood, which is one of the apps that allow you to buy and trade stock, for a whole day stopped trading GameStop stock because they were like, wait a minute, it was just crazy. So basically enough people got together and raised the stock prices up. Basically, that's essentially what happened. So
I still don't understand it, Aaron, but that's okay. I hope that someone else understands what you're talking about. But me and this money stuff, borrowing and selling and trading and
well, think of it this way. If you are expecting the stock of a company to continue to go down and you bet against that stock and all of a sudden it shoots up to the top, you're losing money. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Because you're betting against it. You're betting that, hey, this stock is going to go into trash. So it'd be like, for example, if we were a publicly traded company, Two Crazy Scoops, and people were betting like, yeah, this podcast is going in the trash, and then we release an episode that gets, no, I'm serious, we release an episode that gets like 1 million listens, and all of a sudden our stock is through the roof, and all these people who bet against us is like, oh wait, hold up, we thought this stock was going to go down, but it's now shot up through the roof, and we're going to, we're losing a ton of money because we bet against them, thinking that it was going to stay low.
And what
or
does
go
this
down
betting
even more.
against mean? Like, I understand if you bet against something, but you saying, like, I don't understand how they're losing the money is what I'm saying.
Because they're basically borrowing the stocks basically, and you're gonna with the promise that you'll give it back. You're gonna give back the stock, but you're hoping to get it back at a lower price than what you borrowed it for.
So I could borrow a stock from you.
Yep. So if I give you an apple, if I loan you an apple, you and I expect my apple back. But you may loan me the apple, and the apple may be priced at $5. But then when it's time to give me the apple back, you think apple prices are going to go down to $3. Then you give it back, and you made a little profit of $2.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Then if
you're counting on
Apple
but you're counting on apples to keep going down, right? But
if apples
all
go
of a
up?
sudden, the whole state of Washington burns down to the ground, and
Whoa,
apples
whoa,
are now.
whoa. Hey. We can't say any more of this burn down the U.S. kind of stuff. Okay?
If that happened, I would be like, well, I had no idea. I had no idea that was going to happen. But, that's where we get a lot of our apples from, from Washington State.
I didn't know that.
I can't speak for the whole country, but on this half of the country, most of the apples we have in the grocery stores come from Washington. So if all the apple, orchards in Washington stop producing apples, for example, in the state of Washington, for example, then the price of apples is at least on this half of the country, is going to go up because it's less supply. Mm-hmm. But you weren't counting on that happening. So that's why you borrowed the apple. But I'm coming back like, Antonio, where's my apple back? And now you got to get me back the apple. But apples are now $10 a piece, whereas they were 99 cents a piece before. You get what I'm saying?
What if they never give it back?
That's not an option.
It isn't? I can't just like split town and...
I guess you could, but that gets into a little bit deeper than what I know. But
yeah. That is funny, though, like, to look at something that's physical like that. I know stocks aren't physical, but to just see how the value of it fluctuates as the world around it changes is such an interesting thing.
Yeah. And it's really interesting because people are mad because obviously people on Wall Street are obviously, these hedge funds, they're losing money, a ton of money by these stocks going up. And they're ticked off. But the problem is, and that's where it starts to get a little bit almost political because the laws tend to favor them. Uh-huh. And people didn't, by talking on Reddit and coming together with a bunch of people and deciding to do something with these stocks, that's not illegal. But the hedge fund and these big, obviously, they don't like that. But the people didn't do anything illegal. So it doesn't benefit them. So now this whole ordeal with GameStop stock might have future changes that happen that may try to tighten up stuff like this happening. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. It will have a long-term effect for sure. But they've done this with other stocks too, AMC. And I think, I don't know, there's a few other companies, because, like AMC Theaters, for example, with most of them being shut down, that's another stock that they were looking at. And there's like a couple of others that they tried to do the same thing too. But it's really interesting. It's an interesting, American Airlines is another one. So it's really, it's worth reading a couple of articles about it just to kind of understand what exactly is happening. And they'll probably explain it even better than I can explain it. I was trying to oversimplify it, I think.
Well, that's fine. Because like I said, I don't even really want to take the time to try to understand this because even doing any little bit of research that I've done into the 2008 crash that happened or whatever, the housing market, I don't even understand that. And I've like tried going over it in my head a bunch of times, but it's like you loan out a bunch of stuff to people. They can't pay it back. So then the debt is huge. and then you end up them going bankrupt, right? So nobody pays any of that money back, and so there's this big old gap of money that doesn't exist.
Like a big bubble, yeah.
That's just out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I don't know what happens. But I was like, isn't that the same thing as student loans? Like, don't people have to pay that back? And a lot of them can't, but it takes a long time. Isn't there like this huge bubble the same way?
It depends because some student loans are backed by the government, some are not. But yeah, it's a huge. I mean, the student loan, that's a whole nother crisis. But again,
Yeah.
when you start talking about that, you're kind of getting into like somewhat of almost a political discussion.
Yeah, politics.
Almost.
But I bring it up because it's just interesting, like I said, and I guess I always say things are interesting. It is interesting. There's just like this invisible thing that's out there. It's almost like radio waves. Just money that's just out there in the air and is fluctuating constantly as to
hypothetical money,
hypothetical income, as my friend
And that's
Danny.
true. Yeah, and that's true. Once we started printing money, because historically money used to be backed by gold. So however much money there had to be gold, to back it up. Whereas now that's no longer the case, and that change took place decades ago. So as a result, you can just create money out of thin air, especially now that everything is computerized and everything.
Yeah.
So it's a mess. That's the short version. It's a mess, the whole money system, because it really is created.
I always like those movies, those spy movies, where they're like, what do they say? They're gonna, oh man, I just forgot the word. It's like when you drop money in someone's account. What's that called? It's like a direct deposit, but they get like the villain to do it, and the villain's like, "Oh no!"
like money laundering.
Oh, we just wired.
Wired
$15 billion into our account, and he's like, "No!" And then the movie ends.
Yeah, and all it is numbers on the screen. It's not actual money moving.
Yeah, that's always like.
So
awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, there is. It's entertainment, obviously, but there is some truth to that. From the standpoint of this is not. It is literally made up out of thin air. It's interesting.
Yeah. And how much like that can affect someone.
Oh,
I
find
that
true.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
depression and
the
like that
Great
can be
Depression
linked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. Again, it's a wormhole. I mean, you can go deep and a lot of the stuff is publicly available. If you want to really look into it.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to that,
growing up,
it's all legal too.
Yeah, growing up, my dad always told me it was like the stock market is kind of like gambling in certain points, except you kind of know some of the variables sometimes, but most of the time you could just lose everything at once.
It depends on how you play your cards, I guess. It depends. Like, for example, if you have a 401k, I mean, that's what that is. It's investments. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh yeah.
So it just depends on how you do it. But yes, it is a gamble. Yes.
Interesting. Well, thanks for filling us in on that, Aaron. Because again, I'm hoping one day to understand the movement of invisible money.
Dude, I don't even know. Sometimes I feel like it's not even worth it. I almost feel like it's like you're not missing out on anything.
No, I'm never going to do that because I'm not interested in that, and neither am I smart enough to sit there. Because a lot of it, I feel, is kind of you have to be dishonest at a certain point, or because you can know certain things, and a lot of people know certain stuff, and then they do certain things, and they trade certain things, and they.
So that's illegal. Insider trading and stuff like that. That's illegal. So if you follow the rules, I mean, there is a legal way to do it properly.
But it kind of
and there's rules in place.
It still feels a little dishonest, though, don't you think? At a certain point.
Well, if you break the rules, yes. So what I'm saying is, as long as you follow the rules, it's not dishonest.
So you're telling me to get into the stock market, Aaron? Is this what this conversation
No,
is
that's not what I'm saying. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And if you're gonna do things shady or illegal things, then yes, you're right. It is dishonest. But just the concept itself is not dishonest in and of itself. It's all about how you participate in it.
How you play the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's too much for me. I'd rather just clean windows.
Same.
That is simpler. It's a lot simpler.
But even that, I mean, that affects my work too, because if a business goes under, then I'm not cleaning their windows, and then, it's all this giant, like, domino effect.
Yeah, everything is definitely connected. Yeah. So, but I mean,
the economics of things are always interesting to me as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely worth like again, there's so much information out there now, especially on YouTube. You can go look up a quick short video that'll give you the basics of how it works. And just I think it's good to at least understand a little bit about it. That's just how I feel though. Doesn't mean you have to do it or participate in it, but it's always good to understand certain things because especially when it comes to window cleaning and your line of work, sometimes if you ever get into a conversation with, clients, sometimes, if they may say something about it or whatever, or it comes up in conversation, it's good to at least know basics about it.
Oh, well, so I want to guarantee you, Aaron, I am the master of making up stuff that I don't really know about. So I guarantee you if they say that, I mean, it comes and bites me in the butt a lot of times. They're like, I don't think that's right. And I'm like, well,
Well, if you say it with confidence, unless they're not, if they're not paying attention, they can easily get away. You can easily get away with that.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. A friend of mine was telling me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you say it with confidence, people will, unless they're really paying attention to you, they won't even catch it.
Anyways, talking about a deep, dark cavern in the ground, our next topic. Is the Grand Canyon of all things. Not that there's anything happening with the Grand Canyon, but again, I just like to take a break from all of this stuff that's going on and think about nature.
It open for visitors?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, you can go anywhere.
I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Yeah, it's like open air.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not going to do the donkey ride or the mule rides or whatever. But anyways, we talk about the Grand Canyon. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world, and it's right pretty much in your backyard. And yet I've only been to it like twice.
I've only been once.
Have you been, Aaron?
Yeah, I went twice.
Twice.
I went once. Yeah, once when I first moved to Arizona. So that's 6.5 years ago. And then once when my cousin came to visit, he had never seen it. And it was funny because he's like, at first, when I first mentioned it to him, he was kind of like, that would be cool, but I don't know if we need to drive all the way up there just to see it. I mean, I've seen it in pictures. And when he told me that, I was like, yep, we're going. because I kind of felt the same way. I said, well, I've seen some very amazing photos of the Grand Canyon and even some video shots. So I'm like, yeah. But since I was driving all the way out here, almost 3,000 miles across the country, I said, why not stop by and take a look? And I think you're probably going to get into this more, but there's one of those things that you have to see with your own eyes, and photos and videos do not do it justice. You have to really sit there on the edge. Well, maybe not quite on the edge.
Gosh.
Not on the edge, but you have to be there close to it to appreciate it. And nothing, the second time I went, I was still just as amazed as I was the first time, just by looking out over there, and took some pretty cool pictures, which again, do it no justice. But it's the reason why it's called a wonder of the world.
Yeah.
And worth
it almost
seeing,
looks unreal when you're there. It almost looks like it is a picture.
Yeah.
But it's hard to explain. Like you definitely have to go and see it for yourself if you haven't.
It's like a backdrop almost. That's how big it is. When you get there, it's like, it's funny that when you come across things that your brain can't really comprehend, you're just like, this is so huge. And just unlike cities which were built, this was constructed or came about because of erosion. So it's like actually
Mhm.
It's like the
destruction.
Colorado River or something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
destruction that caused this giant thing to come about,
Mhm.
which is awesome. But again, I hadn't seen it. A friend of mine took me when 2013. That was the first time I ever went, and yeah, I was just like blown away. It was actually when it was snowing. So it wasn't snowing when we got there, but when we arrived, it had already snowed, had fresh snow, and it's actually extremely cold. So if you're gonna go in the wintertime, bring a jacket and some hand warmers and some hot coffee.
Yeah, no, I didn't go during the winter. That would be interesting to see it though during the winter time, but I didn't. I went during the summer both times.
Yeah.
I think what June was it May or no? It was hey no, both times it was in August.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was the weather was really nice.
Yeah. Which side did you go to? I don't know either.
Dude, that's
So,
a
did you see like
you know,
horseshoe? Is that
Horseshoe
Bend?
Bend.
yeah.
You saw that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we didn't see that.
Yeah,
We have to
because
go back.
yeah, it's obviously huge. So there's so many different things you can see each time. But you know what's funny? One thing I would like to do, and I don't know if it's feasible or not, but I would love to go like rafting down the Colorado
Oh
River.
yeah.
Like that seems like that would be a lot of fun.
Isn't that like a really intense ride though?
Well, it depends on what section of the river you go because there's different sections and they're labeled with like a number, a level, from what I understand.
Uh-huh.
Like there's a level 1, level 2, level 3. There's different levels. So depending on what section you go to. So there's areas where that you can go to that are nice. And then there's like rapids where you need to know what you're doing. Did you ever see that movie River Wild?
No.
Oh, okay. It probably came out the year you were born, so you may not remember it, but
Well, there you go. As soon as I was born, I was like, I need to go. Take me to the cinema.
it came out. I think it came out in like 2000 or something.
Oh, well, that was 7. Come on. I'd gone to the movies. Actually, I don't even know. At a certain point, my parents were like, you can't watch this stuff till you get older. And then I watched it, and I was like, this is stupid. All the kids used to make fun of me because I didn't see Godzilla. I was like, why? I mean, what's the big deal? And then I saw it, and I was like, this is really dumb, guys.
Oh, you couldn't watch Godzilla as a kid?
No, it probably would have scared me.
Oh my God, that was my childhood. Was Godzilla the Japanese version, like the old
No,
ones?
the one with
Oh, you're talking about the American version.
2001 or 2000.
Yeah, the 2000 version. Yeah, that was garbage, and you missed nothing. And in fact, if you have not, no, I'm serious. If you have not seen it, don't watch it. It's horrible.
I think that's the only one I saw.
No,
Like at
no,
a sleepover or
don't.
something.
No, no. We're gonna do a future episode about Godzilla, and we will watch the more modern version. So starting with the 2014 one, the 2019, and then 2021. But that's another episode.
Yes,
but yeah,
I don't know why I'm here.
While we're what?
Why did I get to Godzilla? I don't know what I was talking about.
Oh, we were talking about movies in which you were allowed.
Oh, okay. You said that there was yeah. Okay, fine.
You
So
used Godzilla as an example.
Got it.
Yeah. And your father was right to not allow you to watch it.
He was like, you can't watch this
even as a child
for ethical reasons.
It was a waste of time. He's like, this is terrible.
He knew.
Yeah, that was like Americans trying to take it and do their own thing with it, and it was horrible. So
Taco Bell commercials were cool though.
Huh?
The Taco Bell commercials were cool though.
Oh,
he was like
Taco Bell.
Here, lizard.
No. In fact, that was the beginning of the end, as far as I'm concerned, for Taco Bell.
Oh, I had a stuffed animal. I had the Chihuahua.
And he was like, "Yo quiero Taco Bell."
You'd squeeze him, and yeah.
I will never understand that about you. I don't understand how can you stand Taco Bell in Tucson? For anyone who's listening who's not in Tucson, you can get some of the most authentic Mexican food in Tucson. Everywhere. There's all types of, taquerias and everything around here. There is no reason to ever go to a Taco Bell in Tucson, Arizona. And yet, that's where Encino goes
For no
to get his
reason at
tacos.
all.
For no reason to get. It's like, oh, really?
Man, it's so good. Sorry, Aaron.
It's okay.
That's okay.
And the nacho fries.
I know it holds a special place in your heart, so I allow
My
it.
palate.
Oh, that is terrible. That is absolutely terrible.
I allow it every now and then.
I remember the one time Paco had took us to this place on the west side, and it's so funny because on the outside it just looks like a little shack in the middle of a giant parking lot.
Oh, is it?
But we went there.
La Yoka?
Maybe so. Yeah, over there on Mission.
No.
No, which one is that?
Or on Ajo and
I don't know.
near
The Veterans Hospital?
No.
Because that's
This is let's see, what street is that? I can't think of the name of the street.
Is it Huero Canelo?
It's near the swap meet. Near the swap meet.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's in that area. But it looked like a little shack. And we went there and my goodness, we had the best tacos I've ever had. In my
Or
life.
was it? It's like the opposite of Huero Canelo. How do you say it?
Oh, is it BK's?
BK's.
Was
Are
it
you talking about
BK's? Not Burger King.
Yeah. No.
BK's.
No, it looked like a little old shack though. Like the building is like old looking.
I don't know. It kind of looks old. There's Taco Zapson?
Gosh,
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Needless to say, there's a lot of taco places here.
Yeah.
Sometimes
there is a lot.
Aaron, you know what? Sometimes
and you are just proving my
sometimes
point even more.
you want to break from it all, you know? You just want to take a little break from all the headache, from all the carne asadas and taquerias.
Then you make them at home.
You want to take a little break. You want to go through a drive-through. You just want to say taco, and that's it. They're not going to speak to you in Spanish. They're not going to intimidate you.
It's like when you're tired at the end of the day and you just want like some junk TV. Kind of like that.
Like this podcast.
Oh, well, yes, Taco Bell is definitely junk tacos.
I'm just telling you, Aaron, that's my reason. Sometimes you just want to break from it all, you know? Too many choices, too many flavors. Think outside the bun, Aaron. Come on.
Oh my God. You went there.
Good Lord.
Okay, so the Grand Canyon.
I love how we went from, even though we weren't planning on it, from GameStop to Godzilla to the Grand Canyon.
To tacos.
All in the same episode, even to tacos.
Anyways, so the Grand Canyon is a beautiful place, but do not take Aaron's advice and go to the edge of it. There's actually generally a lot of people actually get very injured and sometimes, most of the times, die because of.
Well, you just took it to a dark place.
This is a warning. This is a warning. It's a warning.
You don't have to. Most normal people don't have to be warned not to jump off a cliff.
You know what I was surprised about? They have books at the gift shop specifically about that.
How people died.
Accidents. And I was shocked. I was like, really?
So if you fall off, they're making a buck off your name. Aaron Owens wanted to take a breathtaking selfie at the edge of the South Rim.
But to me, it seems like it's common sense, though.
You would think that, Aaron.
That's all I'm saying.
A lot of people are trying to urinate off the edge of the, and that's how they fall and die.
Why? That still should not be a cause for falling.
Well, Aaron, I'm just telling you. I think you give some people too much credit. Okay.
Apparently, because you don't have to slip and fall while doing that.
The winds are pretty heavy out there, so I don't think that if you want that to be the last thing that you ever do, but some people it is. And again, we're not making fun of people who are passing away. I'm just saying it's common sense, but you have to warn people. It's a PSA.
Yes, let's make that our PSA for today. But.
Yes, do not urinate off the Grand Canyon, please.
Oh my God, that's the name of the episode. Do not urinate off the Grand Canyon.
And if you're gonna take a picture, don't take a picture at the edge. You know, and you think that too. And a lot of people take pictures with other wildlife, and they just get kicked in the face or something. And you're just like, don't take a picture with a baby bear. I know you think it's cute. but it's a bear, and its mom is just around the corner.
Exactly, but it's the mom you have to worry about, not the baby bear.
I don't
The
know.
baby bear is very curious and they're friendly.
And that's what they think. Yeah, Aaron. And the next thing you know,
No, they are.
You're getting mauled.
They are. Right, by mama bear. But the baby bear is cool.
Just don't listen to Aaron.
You can't have
don't
one
get
without
close.
the other.
Yeah.
No.
She might be 50 or 100 feet away. So, you might be able to get a quick pick.
They're pretty
They're
stealthy.
fast.
I wouldn't bet against one.
Could you imagine that, trying to take a selfie with the cub and it's all smiling and stuff, and then you take one of the pictures and you look at it and like the mama bear is behind you.
Anyways, that's our PSA. When you're going to the Grand Canyon, be careful, stay safe, drink a lot of water.
Oh yeah.
Because apparently people are just like passing out there constantly. Because I guess
especially if you're going down.
There's something to do with air pressure, is it?
Well, the weather changes because of the elevation. Like, it's about 8,000 feet, right? So.
Well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know. As you go down, the temperature rises, I think.
It rises?
That's what I've read.
Heat rises, though.
I was looking at the Wikipedia, and they were talking about some of the activities, and it includes rafting, hiking, running, and helicopter tours.
No, that's what happens when you pass out. That's the helicopter tour.
Rescuing you from the that's true. Hiking down to the river and back up to the rim in one day is discouraged by park officials because of the distance, steep rocky trails, change in elevation, and danger of heat exhaustion from the much higher temperatures at the bottom.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
rescuers probably because it's.
Yeah, they're saying it's higher temperatures at the bottom, and the rescues are required annually from. Yeah, I love the fact that there's all these warnings and stuff here. But if the Grand Canyon was anywhere outside the U.S., there would be no warnings, there would be no guardrails, there'd be nothing.
You were telling us that when you went to go hike the volcano, and
there's no signs, there's no warning that says don't lean on the rail. No, if you lean on the rail, expect to fall. And the people don't need a sign to tell them every little thing. It's like common sense.
Common sense. Yeah.
Common sense. And if you don't have it, then you pay.
My goodness, Aaron.
Well, it's the truth, though. You shouldn't need a sign. Dude, don't get me started. At my job, we have signs posted for the most dumbest things sometimes. It'd be common sense things, and we have to have a sign up that says it. And it's just like, really?
Oh, like what?
Oh.
Sorry. Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm actually really curious.
Well, for example, we have... we still have the sign. Now we have these giant, like at my store, we have feet all over the floor, and they're spaced apart, and they're meant to keep people
6 feet apart.
6 feet apart. That's where they're at. But people weren't listening to it, so we had to put a sign up that said, "Please wait behind the feet or the yellow line, so that until the next person in front of you moves." But people were all stacked up on top of each other and stuff, and it's like, it's crazy. Yeah. In the bathroom, there's a giant sign by the door that says, "Please wash your hands after you use the restroom." It's like, do you?
Now that one I see a lot.
Yeah, employees must wash hands.
Oh God.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just
there is a lot of. There's so many signs there. It's almost like you shouldn't go.
There's signs everywhere, and of course, obviously, there's you have to wear a mask, which at this point should be obvious. No pets allowed, but people don't care. You have to wear shirt, pants to come in, or shorts at least, but everyone doesn't listen to that either. I'm serious. There's been people who've come in and I'm like, they should not be in here because their clothing should be required. Not to say that no one's ever come in there like completely, with nothing on, but it's just like, come on now. I'm serious. If you were at a food bar and that person walked up next to you, I'm guarantee you would put all food back and just leave because you would be so sick. You're like, oh god.
My goodness, dear sir, put on some trousers at least.
Oh god. Anyway,
Pours soup into the wrong container and just walks off.
right, exactly. No, but there's a lot of signs that that are around. That's what we should do. We should do an episode on that, like a quick, short episode on that.
On signs?
Yeah, an episode
Unusual
on
signs.
unnecessary
Oh.
signage.
I can't even think of one. I mean,
And what? Well, there's a lot of them. Like stay in your lane. When you're driving.
don't feed the birds.
Yeah, don't feed. Yeah, exactly. Don't feed the animals. We should do that. We should do a episode on random unnecessary signage. Kind of like you ever watch Unnecessary Censorship?
Yeah.
No.
You never saw that? Unnecessary censorship. Okay. Well, anyway.
I mean, no.
Just kidding. I think, yeah, I've seen some of the videos.
We can do
Those
something
are
like
pretty
that.
funny.
Unnecessary signage.
Nice. And anything else you have to say about the Grand Canyon?
I don't know that many facts about the Grand Canyon.
Oh, no. I mean, it's just, I just think that we have a unique,
Well, it's bigger than the state of Rhode Island.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So,
I
Aaron.
didn't even know Rhode Island was a state.
Ooh.
I'm kidding. I'm
Wow.
kidding. I'm kidding. I've been to Rhode Island. I'm just kidding.
Okay, now let's just say that Rhode Island burst into flames tomorrow. The stock market and apples,
Oh my God.
obviously.
I think you just didn't. I wasn't clear when I used that analogy because I assumed that.
Well, you said apples, and I started thinking you're talking about apple stock. You should have used bananas.
No. Oh my God. Yes, I guess. But I was referring to the fruit.
Yes,
Apple.
I know that now. But
In the state of Washington, where most apples are grown. That's what I meant. But I shouldn't have assumed that everyone would know that. So I apologize.
thank you, Aaron. You gotta really put it in layman's terms for me.
No, but you're right. Most people wouldn't pay attention to that.
So, I do have one last thing I want to talk about, Aaron. A lot of people move here, and they're like, Tucson stinks. It's not beautiful. The food's good. There's nothing to do here. So you're from out of state. What do you have to say about Tucson?
Wait, did people really say that, or are you just making that up?
No, people say it to me all the time. People are like, you've never moved? And I'm like, I moved for a little bit. I don't know. I couldn't live here for that long. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's nice. Thank you for telling me, sir. Do you ever want to like get out of here? I mean, go somewhere else, live somewhere else, experience some things. I'm like, there's a lot to experience here, I can assure you.
That's a good question.
When it comes to the scenery, let's just talk about the scenery. That's all I'm really
This-
interested in.
Oh, well, the scenery is beautiful. Tucson is the best, as far as the scenery is concerned, it's the best place I've ever lived. As far
Really?
as scenery.
Weather's pretty nice.
The weather is very mild. It's the city itself is surrounded by beautiful mountains, and I never get tired of that. Plus, all the valleys, and if you're an outdoorsy person and you like the sun and stuff, then it's a great place.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you
there's-
don't like those type of things, though, and you want more New York City type vibe, then of course you're not going to like it. But living in either in or near big cities my whole life, Tucson is a nice change of pace because it's not too big, like it's not constantly buzzing like LA, but at the same time you still get some of that beautiful scenery that you would get in LA, minus the beach, of course. But I mean,
And you've done a
It's-
lot of the hiking here too, right?
yeah.
Which was
Yeah.
what was one of your favorite hikes?
Oh, favorite would probably be, I don't know, maybe Seven Falls.
That one's nice.
Yeah, that's a nice
Yeah. But Sabino Canyon is really nice, and I always say it wrong. Saguaro National Park,
Yeah,
one.
but the one on the east
it's
side,
Saguaro National Monument.
Monument. Okay.
Yeah, there's a monument
Yeah.
and then there's a park.
Okay, so yeah, the monument is on the far east side, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so that's a really nice hike. So I mean, yeah, it's unbeatable. I could not have asked for a better place to move. So
Yeah. As far as events, I feel like there's plenty of events that happen here. Depends
again,
what
it
you're
depends
into.
on
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. If you're, Tucson is a cool little arts. There's a lot of artsy stuff to do if you're into that as well. And it's like I said, if you're used to being in like a New York or a Chicago or like a big city that never really sleeps, like one of those cities, then or LA or Miami, places like that,
Mm-hmm.
then I can see how some people may be like, oh, this is boring. If you like to go out and do a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so comparatively speaking, I think Tucson does go to sleep. Unlike some of those cities,
Yeah.
there actually is a time where everything does actually
Oh no,
close.
we need our sleep. Okay.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it gets
but
weird.
you're right. Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad thing. That's a good thing. At some point, people do need to be told go home and go to sleep. You don't need to be hanging out. It's 3 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Whereas in New York, it doesn't matter what time it is. There's always going to be something going on. So I guess it again, it just depends on what people like to do
Yeah.
for
I think at a
entertainment.
certain point, I didn't really appreciate it as much, but just kind of as I grow up, I'm trying to absorb more because I'd go visit someplace. Like when we went to San Francisco that one time, and I was like, man, this is so cool. Like we're seeing all this stuff, we're doing all these things. But then I realized, like, Arizona, Tucson's like that as well. If you take the opportunity to kind of explore things instead of just, oh, well, it's here all the time, I can go whenever I want, like actually trying to go to those things. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it really helped a lot. But just the
Have you
natural beauty of everything.
Yeah. Have you ever been like tubing before? Or went down the Salt River
I
up near
haven't, no.
Phoenix? Yeah, so that's really nice. There's this one lake up there. I mean, people forget that there's a ton of lakes up near Phoenix in that area
Uh-huh.
around the city that are huge. I mean, you get into the middle of them and you would think you were in the ocean, like they're huge lakes.
Oh, wow.
You can do kayaking, which is really nice. Um, One time I did like this steamboat cruise, which was really cool too. And it was like a dinner cruise, which is really nice.
Fancy.
Yeah, it's really nice. There's a lot of stuff to do in Arizona, but then especially just between Tucson and Phoenix, there's a lot of stuff to do
Mm-hmm.
outdoorsy wise. And one thing I haven't done yet is I still want to hike to the top of Camelback. That would be a cool little hike to do.
Oh, I've done that before.
Yeah, we went up there to do it, but we ended up doing the steamboat. But yeah,
I'm
there's a
not
lot
sure
of
if I
cool
could do
stuff to
it
do.
now, but
What, hike now?
well, hiking up that Camelback. I did it when I was
I
a
don't
kid, but not recently.
I don't think it's that bad. I think you could probably do it.
It's not as bad as Picacho Peak, that's for sure.
Right, yeah. Yeah. It's not.
But still kind
Of
of
course, I
intense.
haven't done it, but I was just going by what I've read,
Yeah.
the reviews and stuff. But yes, so for me, Tucson is 2 thumbs up. If I had a third thumb, I would put that one up too, but I don't. So.
That's kind of funny because that was another piece I was going to talk about. Probably talk about later. Is the if you could have an electronic appendage, would you opt to have an extra arm? But we'll talk about that another time.
Good idea.
Well, it was a news article I was reading, and it was about people who've actually lost their limbs, and they're finding ways to 3D print
Oh.
certain things, so they can kind of get at least some grip in their hand. Like if they're missing some fingers, they can kind of like replace it.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
And
that's cool.
even people who are athletes, how they have the different designs for amputees.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
your legs, and sometimes I think it's even more effective than your own feet with shoes on are.
Crazy. That's
I
amazing.
actually have seen that video because a relative of mine actually showed me a video where a guy who was an amputee, his legs, but then he had, 2 of these legs that were good, like for running. And he said he could run faster than he could before. I don't know how that works
Well, I
exactly,
think it's
but
the traction on the bottom of it's a little bit more like better.
maybe so. But he was running just like, And in my mind, I'm like, I would be afraid because I would be afraid, like, what if it gives out? Because it's so much that goes into walking and running when that you take you. I think you take it for granted.
Yeah.
Because you're relying on feeling the ground beneath your feet. Whereas in those situations, you don't have the feeling, but yet it works. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But if I was going to get an extra appendage, I would probably get a tail, though. That would be pretty cool.
Okay.
Oh man, yeah. So that just happened. I don't know. Obviously, it's not. You wouldn't want to lose an appendage and then have to have it robotically there. But if you have the option to have an extra one, Aaron would have a tail for God knows why.
Well, you ever see Dragon Ball Z, the original? No, Dragon Ball, the original cartoon when Goku was a kid.
Very young, so no, I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Like, there's Aaron and his tail, just like waltzing into work.
I was picturing you like a kangaroo. They can.
They can sit on their tail and then kick forward. Exactly. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I had in mind the Goku's tail when he was a kid in Dragon Ball. He had a tail. It was thin and slender, and I would use mine to like pick things up, juggle things,
brush your teeth.
Yeah, hold my phone for me, watch a movie.
So you really just want to multitask?
Right, yeah, a multitask. So I'll use my tail for different
Do you think that your brain could adapt to that?
It might take a little while, but yeah.
That would be very odd. Like the same way you learn to use your arms, you'd have to learn how to do that. But then would your brain be able to comprehend a third thing?
Right. It's like, what is this? I have no idea what this is.
So you know how you like rub your stomach and pat your head? Right. Not only that, but you'd be juggling or something, pouring tea with your tail.
Yeah. I'm sure my brain would be very confused. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you went there. You bring us here.
Hey, it's not my fault. I asked for an arm. Okay, I didn't ask for a tail. I was like, maybe you'd have like a third leg and you could run like even faster.
Do you know how awkward that would be trying to run with 3 legs?
Aaron, I don't know. Okay, you know how awkward it'd be to have a mechanical tail? Do you know how awkward it would be to have a mechanical tail that is following you everywhere you go, and you're telling me about a third leg?
No. Okay, first of all, I would keep it wrapped up, rolled up, and put away until I needed it.
Well, you've obviously thought this through, so we're not going to question you.
It's like, you've now reached Aaron's final form. Is that a butcher's knife? Aaron walks away to the room and his tail is just like hacking people away.
Yeah, exactly. That's a cool way to shank somebody, right? Get their attention. Like, oh, let me show you this. And
so you have been to prison, Aaron. You've been in prison. I know you have. You thought about this in prison.
No, but if I was, that's what I would want. I would need a tail to help me defend myself.
Man. Anyways, I think I can finish this episode on a joke because you reminded me about it. Oh man, and I can't even remember it. But it's about a 3-legged chicken. And I can't remember it. All I remember is this guy's driving down the road and he looks to his left and this chicken is running across. And then he pulls over and he goes to the guy's farm and he was like, "Your chicken runs really fast." And he was like, "Yeah, I found a way to breed chickens so that they have 3 legs."
Is this Colonel Sanders?
No. You're mixing up the joke, okay? Guy's driving down the road. He looks over to the left, and he sees this chicken that is running just as fast as he is driving, okay? And he goes, and he pulls into this guy's barn, and he's like, "Dude, your chicken is, like, insanely fast." And he's like, "Yeah, I found a way to breed chickens so they have 3 legs." And he's like, "You can breed a chicken with 3 legs." He's like, "That must taste amazing." And the farmer goes, "I don't know. I've never caught one."
Nice. Good one.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I probably butchered that joke, but yeah.
No, it was very well done. I'm sorry for messing it up.
Was that Colonel Sanders?
But that does seem like something he would do, right? Try to breed a three-legged chicken.
I guess. I mean, yeah. I'm sure
More
they
efficient.
would. More efficient. I don't know where we're going with this, Aaron. We should never do one of these After Dark episodes ever.
In all fairness, we did
again.
warn everyone.
Dying by urinating off the Grand Canyon. Choosing Taco Bell instead of actual, real, authentic Mexican food. Aaron's tail. The stock market. I don't even know anymore.
What are we going to call this? I can't wait to see what the episode's going to be.
I don't think I can name it appropriately. It'll just have to be like the end of Two Crazy Scoops.
Well, we've lost it. Okay. But future, we will do Godzilla. And we still have our Hot Ones challenge coming up.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
Stay tuned for those.
This has been
And some music.
And what?
Sorry.
What
some
music?
A music episode.
Oh,
The
yeah.
music
So
that
we're
people
trying to
recommended.
do the episode where everyone recommended it. We and Aaron
I've
talked
listened to
for
the music.
we talked for like 2 hours and then we recorded, so we kind of wasted a lot of time.
Okay, but that was necessary to get to where we are now.
Exactly. That's the like after hours episodes. And the music ended. So I'm going to have to start this music again, Aaron, and we're going to let this take us out, okay?
I'm sorry.
This has been Two Crazy Scoops podcast with your hosts, Ayo and Antino and DNA. Stay tuned next week as we pick up the pace again and record another episode. Thank you for staying tuned, and we hope you have a wonderful week or whatever is left of it. Ciao.